World Takes Podcast, episode 86. It's your boy, Big Moolah.
It's B Baby 1-2 of the World Takes Podcast.
Yo, tonight we got a real special show for y'all. We got a couple special guests in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for Thomas and Crystal Feliciano from Peterson'S Breaking News. Thomas, Crystal, welcome to the World Takes Podcast. How y'all feeling tonight?
I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming out. We appreciate y'all being here with us. It's an honor. It's a pleasure. This is the World Takes Podcast. This is episode 86. Here on this podcast, we like to get straight to it. We're going to jump right in. I would like to have both of y'all introduce yourselves, tell the people who you are, where you're from, and maybe where they can follow you at your social media.
Okay. Thomas Peterson, born from West Trenton, and you can follow me on Peterson'S Breaking News of Trenton.
Make some noise for that, y'all. I'm sure most of y'all out there already following Peterson'S Breaking News on Facebook, but if you're not, make sure you go give them a follow right now. How about you, Crystal?
Good evening. My name is Crystal Feliciano. Born in West Trenton. West Side is the best side.
Okay.
I am a teacher at Trenton Central High School, and I am a candidate for this November City Council race in the city of Trenton. I'm running for City Council at large. Here to tell everybody to vote for number 8 on November 8th.
Okay. 8 is great, y'all.
8 is great.
Make some noise. We're going to have to go step by step. We're going to get into the election and all that, but I want y'all both to tell the people a little bit about your background. Growing up in the city, how was it? Did you go to Trenton High? Give us a little background on both of you.
Okay.
So originally, I went to Trenton High West growing up, and then I transitioned from Trenton High West to Daylight Twilight because I got into a lot of trouble in Trenton High West. I mean, it's still continuing in Daylight Twilight, but then I got my act together because my sister became a cop in Trenton, so and I was like, okay, well, I want to follow her footsteps also. And somewhere between that, that's when I transitioned into like doing breaking news also, and that's where that transition happened also. And then
how many siblings do you have?
I have like six siblings.
Big family. You were the baby, or?
Yes, I'm the baby in the family.
Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
Okay.
Nice. Now, Peterson'S Breaking News, I know you said you wanted to follow in your sister's footsteps, the officer. But what else kind of motivated you to start that?
To follow in her footsteps?
No,
To start Peterson's.
Oh, to start Peterson's?
Yeah.
Because it was a lack of like following and trend for like the news.
Mm-hmm.
Like me searching up things on the web, I couldn't find anything. So that's why I started to do what I was doing, and then I came across somebody else and their media also. So it's like, well, if this person can do it, then I can do it.
Right.
And then it became repetitive, and when people searched up stuff, my stuff came up then.
That's why you was in high school at Daylight Twilight?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
How long has Peterson'S Breaking News been an active page?
Oh.
It's been around for a while.
Oh yeah, it's definitely almost
decade.
over. Like yeah,
Wow.
just about that.
That's incredible. Make some noise. Listen, I think that's a testament to sometimes, it's easy to get caught up in trouble in our city. It's easy to get lost in our city. But that's a testament to when you put your mind towards something, you can accomplish anything. And it can be the biggest thing in the world, just like Big Move. Make some noise. Crystal, how about you? What was your upbringing like? Where did you go to school at?
Well, I went to Blessed Sacrament on Bellevue. Then I went to Notre Dame High School, graduated in 1988. Went on to Georgian Court College
In PA.
in Lakewood, New Jersey.
Lakewood, New Jersey. It's an all-girls school?
It was.
Okay, all
It
right.
was.
Make some noise for Georgian Court College. Listen, I want to give a big shout out to all the parochial schools out there, man. Parochial school, you still holding on. If maybe your time came to an end, just know we ain't forget about y'all, man. We love y'all out there. Make some noise for that.
People still owe because of y'all. They owe a lot of money. Thank y'all so much.
The tuition was a little pricey at some of the spot. But anyway, not to cut you off, Crystal, let's get back to it. What was school life like for you?
School was okay. I've always been, my teacher would call me like a sponge, right? I love to learn. I learn daily, even now. I love to learn from other people, right? I don't think that you can ever know everything. There's always something new that we could pick up. I teach at the high school now. I learn from my students daily. They help to check me sometimes when I'm thinking one thing. They've certainly all shown me, what we learned, you never judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But being up close and personal with the youth, they really will, they will try you in so many different ways, but that only makes me better because it makes me more open to find out, well, what is really going on with you, right? It's easy to tell somebody, shut up, sit down, go ahead about your way, than to say, let me holler at you for a minute. Like, you just cussed me out. What's really good with you? What's going on? I know something has to be happening. Come on and let's talk about it. And then through developing the trust with the youth and everything and then having them open up, you learn to foster really wonderful relationships, right? And then we actually, like I said, we learn from each other. So I had a wonderful school experience. At Georgian Court, I was like one of 9 black folks back then.
Right.
That was where I dealt with my first real bout of racism, like right in your face, like to the point where it was like, wow, wait a minute. But I'm grateful for that too. I'm grateful for that too, because it helped to build me to be who I am today, right? To be able to deal with all kind of people, to be able to understand how some people think, and then also to temper myself to display the best me that I can, because you're not going to stereotype me, you're not going to put me in a box, and you're not going to say that I'm a certain way just because your ignorant parents raised you to think that way, right? And so, and that's how I instill things, right, in my students. So I had a wonderful school experience. My daughter currently goes to Georgian Court University, so let me just hit the flip on this. My daughter is, and I love Gianna, and I'm so proud of her, but when I was at GCU, I was on student government, but we can only be but in so many places, right? So many levels. So you could be the representative, but we ain't gonna have you be the president. We ain't gonna, you here, we give you this much. My daughter is the president. She's the student government president of Georgian Court. Yes. So she holds the highest student seat at the university, the same one that I graduated from. She's the president of the Black Student Union there. She is breaking through barriers and changing the game. And I told her, I said, you represent, the Black and Latina crossover. You represent us all. So do that with dignity. So again, my upbringing was good. I'm an only child by my mother. I do have a sister. My father had a daughter, right? And she's my sister. So I don't know. Some people say half. Some people say whole.
We just say sister.
Yeah. So I do preface it and say by my mother, because when you hear me talk, I'll say I'm an only child, right? Because I grew up in the house by myself as an only child. However, I do have a sister, who her son, my nephew, actually is the former councilman, Jarrell Blakely. So she and I, Jackie and I met her when I was 9, and we've developed a relationship since then, but we kind of come and go, you know what I mean? She's a wonderful young lady, doing her thing. coming into what it is that she's coming into. So I could say that we come from good stock,
Okay.
right? Where we press on and persevere.
Okay, we're gonna kind of dig into all that. One child you have, just the one.
One, that's it. That's all
you
I
have
need.
one. You mentioned you teach. How long you been teaching? That's a very important job.
So I've been at Trenton High. This is my 5th year at Trenton High.
Okay.
Prior to that, I've taught at Princeton High.
Okay.
I've been a lifelong teacher in different aspects. I've taught when I worked for the Office of the State Comptroller. I was a trainer that went around and trained for professional development classes. When I was the senior program director for the teens at the Boys and Girls Club of Mercer County, I facilitated many classes out there as well.
Okay. So kind of teaching has always been in your blood. Okay. What is it that you teach now at the high school?
Finance.
Finance. Okay.
What grade level are they teaching that to?
10 through 12.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I have a bachelor's in accounting.
Was it like a specific fight for that to get that into Trenton High, or it just was already in the
No, it was there. When I came on board, it was there.
Okay.
And so the teacher who taught it had retired. And so then I stepped in.
Okay.
Right.
So you have a mixture of all those students 10 through 12?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yes.
Okay. I would say things in the city are getting worse as I get older, right? As far as crime, as far as us losing schools, whether it be the funding, whether it be them just closing down. We know we lost all the parochial schools. Pretty much, I think Notre Dame is the only one left, the one you went to. I went to McCorston.
Housing.
Which one?
The housing situation, a lot of abandoned homes.
I want to get into how are the kids at the school right now that you teach? Are they on the straight and narrow? Are they kind of a wilder bunch? Is it hard for you to get through to them? Do you feel as though they're open and listening when they're in your classroom?
I do.
Is it like a tougher?
No. I think it's all about the teacher's classroom management and their style. I am not a traditional teacher. I did not go to school to teach. I went to school for accounting. I have worked in nonprofit, I have worked in corporate, I have worked in municipal government, I've worked in state government. And so my perception of life is what it is. And so I bring all of those years of experience, 28 years of experience of audit and investigation in me. And so I bring all of that to the table when I deal with the kids. It's like this. In life, there's two kinds of relationships. There's business and there's personal. Personally, I want each and every one of you to succeed. Personally, I don't want you to be a statistic. Personally, I want you to be great and excel to higher heights. Business, if you late and you don't have a pass, I'm going to deal with that. Business, if you disrespect me, I'm going to check you. Business, if you come up in here cutting the fool and acting like you don't have any sense, you will get out of my class because my time, just like your time, is valuable. We're here to learn. We're here to get it. Never take the business personal, and let's get down to it. And that is what I tell them all. That is what I stand by. I don't have conflict issues in my class. I don't have disrespect in my classes. My students know when you come into my business class, we don't wear bonnets. We don't have our pants down. We don't wear no slippers. We're not coming in there with hoodies and stuff on. We coming in there correct because we're there to learn, and we must feel good about ourselves when we walk in and look the part so we can go ahead and be the part.
I like that. I actually want to make some noise for that. I feel like teaching is probably one of the hardest professions.
It is. It's harder than any audit I've ever done.
I feel like you guys are underpaid.
Okay.
I feel like you have to be strong.
Yeah.
You have to be straightforward. You have to be honest. These are
Kids
the qualities.
want transparency and honesty.
Yeah,
they want that.
Or else we're going to tune out. They're going to tune out. They're not going to be engaged in the classroom. They're not going to get to take anything away from it. What percentage of other teachers would you say have that same approach as you? Is it a lot of your coworkers in that high school that have that same straightforward, honest approach? Or is it like some that maybe the kids aren't so engaged when they're in those classes? Or do you not really pay attention to that?
So I would have to say this. excuse me, I'm not in an administrative capacity that I would be walking through classes to see what other teachers do.
Mhm.
I'm an instructor at the high school. I stay in my lane and I do what I do.
Okay.
I can't say what the next person is doing. While some kids may make commentary about teachers, it's two sides to every story.
Right.
I don't like her. Why? She hard on the work. Do you do the work? Like, do you ask for help if you can't do the work? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So for me to be able to say who has a style like mine, I can't say. I don't know.
Okay.
I just know what I know about me.
Okay. I appreciate that answer. I want to move on a little bit. You are running for city council at large, right?
Yeah.
And first, what's the difference? I want to know what's the difference between city council at large and just regular city council for our city.
So don't say just regular city council, right?
Okay.
Because every council person is important.
Yes.
And so there are 4 wards in the city, north, south, east, and west. There will be 4 representatives that would be elected, 1 per each ward, right?
Okay.
So they cover specifically their ward. Now, they can help out in other wards as well. However, their primary duties or focus would be their respective ward, right? At large, there's 3 at-large seats.
Okay.
And so those 3 at-large would move through the whole city. They would help one another. They would help the ward candidates as well, right? And so there's 4 ward, there's 3 at-large. Everyone's weight is the same. No one is any more important than the other. Everyone is on the same playing field. Everyone has the same rights, responsibilities, right? The only difference will come is when the council members are elected, then they get amongst themselves and they would elect a council president and a council vice president. And all that simply means is that that person is responsible for the docket to make sure that the docket is in play. We have all the documents and everything ready for the meetings, and they set the agenda for how the meetings and everything would go. Even the council president and the like would be on the same playing field with the exception of those other obligations that he or she would have.
Yeah.
This might be a silly question for you.
No silly
But
question.
for some of our viewers at home, some of our viewers all around the world, they may not even know what the responsibilities of a city council person are. I want you to walk us through that a little bit. Once this election is over, we have our 4 representatives from each ward. We have our 3 council people at large.
Right.
Y'all elect the president, y'all elect the vice president. What do y'all want to transition to? What comes after that? What do y'all get to work on? What's next?
So here's the thing. I can't speak on what the new council would get on next because I ain't on the new council yet.
Okay.
Ideally, the council comes on, they get together, they look to set the budget, they look to establish checks and balances with the administration. They would look to work for the budget for the the council salaries, for the mayor and the administration salaries. They work to set the plan, right?
Okay.
And so they are the checks and balances for the administration. No one is here, and so let's be clear about that too. City council is not the mayor. A council person, the mayor is the mayor.
Right.
The city council person is the city council person. The mayor runs the city. The mayor runs the overall operations of the city through his various department heads, right, and the people that report to them in the hierarchical structure. The city council people provide checks and balances to make sure that contracts are properly bidded on and entered into, that if they want to hire directors, they give advice and consent. So the mayor would say, I want to hire you as my new health and human services person. They bring it before the council. Council does all the hee hee ha ha, what's this, that, and the third. And then they go ahead and say yay or they say nay, right? It's checks and balances. You can't confuse the two. You can't overstep. You shouldn't overstep boundaries, right? We've seen what that does when that happens. we're at a standstill, hands are shackled, the city is held hostage, we can't get nothing going because people aren't staying in their right lane, right? Also, there was one more thing I wanted to say, but I'll catch it. But yeah, we're the checks and the balances for what's going on in the city.
Okay.
All right. So, Diggs, would you be?
Oh wait, I just thought about it. I'm sorry. Also, forgive me. Oversight of the ABC board, the Alcohol Beverage Control, right? The health board. So city council does more than just show up at meetings on a Tuesday and a Thursday night. They actually have other responsibilities that they sit on and do. Other boards, some act as a liaison to the Trenton Housing Authority, to the school board. Like they're moving around. So it's a part-time position, but it could be full-time work. Like, let's be clear. It's not like a docket is like 2 pages to read. Dockets be thick like this. And you only get it at a certain time. You only have a certain amount of days to look through it, ask your questions, right? To find out what it is you need to know to render a fair vote when it comes down to time for you to vote. So there's a lot that goes into being a city council person.
All right. So
Go ahead.
now, because there's a lot of the stuff you were saying. You know, sometimes a lot of average or regular people that I may know, they not into a lot of the language you might speak. So like I'm hearing things is like, okay, you got guys in charge of the alcohol and what did you call it?
The alcohol beverage control. So for the bars and everything that's in the city,
So
they have to get a license. They need liquor licenses. So say something happens. Remember how things was cutting up? It was fights and stuff happening, and certain places got fines and all that other kind of stuff like that. Yeah. So they serve as the ABC board to see what's going on in those instances like that.
So would you say? All right, so you don't quite know exactly what's going on, because I would like to ask you, like, what are these contracts and these alcohol licenses? Are they like, what's the statistics? Like, how many of the people are like black or from the inner city are owning these licenses?
I don't know that answer.
Yeah, you don't know.
But I can say this. But let's look around. We see any black bars in the city?
No.
Okay, then there's your answer.
That's all right. That's what I was getting to. Like, so is that something?
I mean, you can look. I mean, you can eyeball it.
Do the council person be responsible for like allocating license and stuff for like or?
So the businesses will come and they apply right at the clerk's office for the alcohol license.
Okay.
There are certain criteria that has to be met before the license can be issued. Right, there's certain things, close proximity to a school, close proximity to another establishment that already has a license. What is it when you have someone where you could dine in and drink inside as opposed to just buying liquor and going outside? Now, what all of that prescribed criteria is, well, what all those rules are, I don't know. I know that they exist, right? I know that they exist, and I know that there's certain things in place that have to be adhered to, right, or followed in order for these things to be able to be issued and things like that.
Okay.
So I can tell you that I'm not, when I become councilwoman,
Yes.
then I'll be able to get down to the nitty gritty with you to give you specifics. Right now, I know what I know just on the surface. And again, through audit work, through my experience with that, I have written internal controls. I understand about prescribed criteria. I understand about telling folks how to do things in due process. So I understand how things are supposed to flow in good order and in due form. So I can tell you that there are certain governances that have to be followed for anyone to get it. So if folks aren't getting a license, it may not be because they're black, white, Hispanic. It may be because the location that they're looking at is in close proximity to this right here. It may be because of something, you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be based on race or anything like that. It can just be based on other criteria that they fail to meet.
When was it that you decided you were going to run?
Oh my God, I decided I was going to run, well, like a year and a half, 2 years ago. It was a minute ago. It was a minute ago because as a matter of fact, I didn't go to the one this year in in June of 2022, 2021. It would have had to have been in the beginning of 2021. I want to say the end of 2020. I knew that I was going to run.
What was it that got you there? What was it that said, hey, I'm running for city council, y'all, at large? What was it? What was it that brought you there?
Because we need change. And I believe I'm a part of the progressive movement of the city. I believe that I know that I'm a person that cares for the town for real. Mm-hmm. I've been doing work out in this community for a minute. This ain't nothing new to me, right? And again, I'll say I'm not a politician, right? Mm-hmm. But I need politics in order to elevate me to a position that I can be even more effective for us to make good and effective change.
Right.
Right. Stop right there, Mo. I want you to keep your hand on the trigger, right? Yeah. I want you to stay right here. I want you to highlight for the people. The world take viewers want to know what are some of the changes that the city needs. Let's talk about them.
Changes that the city needs. One change that the city needs is cohesiveness amongst those that lead the city. Okay? We need to have basic respect, right? Okay. We need to be able to work together. I don't have to like you, but I'm going to respect you, right? And the whole thing is, too, we need people in position that's going to put Trenton forward. Not egos, not attitude. Mm-hmm. It's not about the power. It's about the people. Yeah. So we need to get a collective group together that can work. Even if they may not agree, we can agree to disagree.
I want to ask you something.
Yes.
I know y'all are familiar with this. Back during the pandemic, I'm watching it live on Facebook. I believe it was city council.
They was arguing and cussing each other out. That's what she's talking about.
Each other names.
Yeah.
No cohesiveness.
Nothing.
Are those people out of there?
No, they're still there.
So I think
Summer's still there. Well, he's the man.
Mm-hmm. We come out. When the World Takes Podcast, episode 86, we come out on October 8th, right? To vote for you.
November 8th.
November 8th, y'all.
November 8th.
When we come
November
out 8th, to vote for number 8.
Come on here.
Right? Is we getting them out of there? The ones that was arguing and cursing each other out?
Well, wait a minute.
Put you in, that gets them
yes,
out.
so let me tell you something cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but it's not even because you're voting them out of being a city council person. 2 of them are running for mayor.
Yeah. So the lady.
So
hold
the lady
on.
with the lady who was.
Wait
cussing.
a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. What's going on?
Nah, that's what's going on.
The people that was arguing on Facebook Live, embarrassing our city. I'm tuned in as a concerned citizen.
Right.
What's going on?
You gotta hear their point of view, though. Mo, you gotta hear their point of view.
They're running for mayor.
So here's what I was going to say. Here's what I was going to say today. I said before we started, I ain't kicking nobody's back in. What I would suggest is, I don't agree with the arguing back and forth. I don't agree with the name calling on anyone's part. Yeah. I don't agree with the disrespect on anyone's part. So I just want to be clear about that, because when we speak, people take your words. Oh, she said it was okay for him and not okay for them. I'm saying on anyone's part. Disrespect is never good on anyone's part. No. But in order to be fair to all the parties involved, you'd have to interview them.
Yeah. All right, listen. We hear
not that you could justify cussing nobody out, but what I'm saying is I'm not going to be like, you know.
We don't condone that. We're very selective with our guests. We only have the biggest and the best up here at the World Takes. This is episode 86. Yeah, election coming up November 8th.
Human, though. You can be human. You got space to be a human. The World Takes podcast. Let's be clear.
But it's just certain stuff I'm going forward.
Over and over again. Yeah. One time, okay, we slipped up.
Right. We made a mistake. Come on. Yeah. Anyway, we got a little sidetrack. I don't want to make it about.
I want to talk about more changes that the city needs, because I feel like I got in my head, I got my changes that I think we need. But I want to, more cohesiveness amongst the city council.
These abandoned homes need to be taken down.
Okay,
these slum landlords need to be held accountable. Yeah. They need to get on the line. We need to be selective about who we're letting buy properties and things up in here.
Where they ordering them properties from?
We need to have it where people The residents of the city can move from a rental status to a home ownership status, right? So we need programs and things in place to help with that, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we need safer streets. We need the state to come on and loosen up them purse strings and give us the money that we need so that we can govern accordingly.
Yeah.
We need that, but I have to say that I don't believe that's going to happen until they can see an administration and a council that can work together and move it forward. Would you give your child money if you knew that he or she was going to take it and just throw it in the wind somewhere? Or would you give it if you knew that they were responsible, that they conducted themselves accordingly,
they trying
and
to
that they
open up
worked
a
their way
business.
through?
They
Right.
can't come to me arguing with their business plan, but they arguing amongst each other.
Right.
They say, yeah, so Dad, I can borrow $50,000.
No.
Like, nah.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. It's crazy that we landed here, but Phil Murphy did just give our city all that money a few years back for the redevelopment bill, and it's just like I'm not seeing it being put to good use.
Well, here's the thing too. A lot of things that the administration put before the council. So understand this. The mayor just can't get money and be like, boom,
Here,
I'm gonna go do this with it. He had to go before council
right?
and say, this is what we like to do. So, Mother, may I? Remember that game?
Technically.
Mother, may I? Yes, you may. Mother, may I? No, take 2 steps back.
Yeah.
It's been kicked back
In
for
theory.
a minute.
In theory.
So when y'all
The mayor can't just do that. In theory, Trenton also has a history of
corruption,
mayors being able to do some things that
Correct.
mayors not supposed to be able to do.
Correct.
it all goes back though. I want to circle it back to something you said earlier. The council is checks and balances
Yes.
on the city government, right? It's kind of like, you
The
know,
bill
how
on
they
the
got
hill.
when we talk about presidents and all that, you got the executive branch, the judiciary branch, because it's checks and balances. The power, the president can't just have all the power.
Yeah, he can't just say boom.
But that's why you, as residents of the city that's listening at home, that's why it's so important and so crucial for y'all to come out on November 8th and vote. I'm gonna be honest with you, I've never been big on voting. I'm gonna keep it 100. You feel me? I've never been big on that. But what I'm seeing going on in the city, I don't stand by it. I don't support it.
Right.
And if you're telling me the mayor got great ideas and he's coming in front of the council and the council is so dysfunctional that we're not getting the ideas passed, then that's a problem for me. It's important that I have a great city council in my city where I lay my head at, I'm bringing up my 2 kids. Keep in mind, one of the changes I need to see is I need to see more entertainment, more things for these kids to do when they get out of school. Right now, it's nothing.
Yeah.
I just want to take it one step past that so people can understand though, like, I'm not the big politician guy, but I do realize like the councilmen are the most important vote that you can do as a person. Like we care about, you know, Joe Biden and Donald Trump and stuff. A lot of those things they implement don't affect us
They're not
directly.
affecting our community.
It's our councilmen and women.
We have to get our
and
local
androgynous-
government together.
Our local
We have
government.
to get our local government
That's
together.
the council, that's the mayor,
Yeah.
that's all of them.
That's important though. That's very important. You gotta know the people who affect you directly, affect your kids directly. You know what I mean?
And be observant and diligent as you look at the candidates for real. You have to look and see qualifications of people, right? It goes beyond, oh, she's on Peterson'S breaking news, or oh, she cool, no. 28 years of audit and investigative experience.
Talk to 'em.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I am the grassroots worker who's been out here. When the pandemic hit, when COVID hit,
Come on.
I was out there on Peterson's,
Come on.
going out in the streets, seeing the people, working it out, showing what was happening.
Talk to 'em.
I was there with the Director of Health and Human Services and the mayor, volunteering my time, making phone calls, scheduling people to get COVID tests, then to get vaccinations, right? Moving through the city, working with the former fire director, putting together the spreadsheets and getting people smoke detectors in their homes that needed new smoke detectors installed in their homes. Working through the city through my organization, Project Move, making our visions evident, doing the paint project in all 4 wards of the city where we brought community together and we painted and got on at Lawrence and Dickinson Street where we actually got the handicapped accessible ramp put in and got the crosswalk put in because they said it was dangerous moving through the city. Helping people out West Trenton, I have the inbox in Facebook. The man needed help getting the speed bump put in, having the conversation, getting things like that done. The greatest works that I have ever done, Facebook would never see. It's not about the accolades, it's about the people. I do the work. I do the work.
Right now.
Okay? And so my thing is, it is about the legislative piece of it. It is about sitting up there and voting things up or down. But I'm sorry, it's also about touching the people right where they are. And I am that candidate. I am that person. The same Crystal you see now rocking with Peterson'S, I'm going to be the media mogul councilwoman moving through the streets, still talking to the people live and straight up, no chaser. Because we have to get our city in order. We can only do this together. Time is up for the bull crap. We need to get this thing right. Our kids' lives depend on it. Our lives depend on it. Right? And Trenton deserves better. November 8th, we can give it to them.
This is the capital city. November
The
8th.
capital city.
The 8th is great. The 8th is great. Make some noise, y'all. 8th is great. Make some noise. November 8th. Make sure you get out there and rock the boat. Candidate number 8, Crystal Feliciano.
I have, thank you for the question. It's called
Move.
Project Move,
Project
making our
Move.
visions evident. But I also have a 501c3, the Gianna Monet Genesis Foundation, named after my daughter, where we have been in existence now for 12 years, where we bless children who experience partial or total hair loss due to alopecia, which my daughter had, cancer, and other extenuating circumstances. I'm one of the co-founders of Trenton Fashion Week. My team is dope as heck. Listen, so we have been reaching out in this city. I got the endorsement from the weed man, right? Some people was like, you don't even smoke. I don't have to. Here's the thing.
Right.
I got the endorsement. He is so dope, no pun intended. He is so cool.
For real.
That he hit me up and was like, I want to give a student $10,000 that because I want them to make it and I want them, if they're going to go on to school or whatever, I want to give them the money. I make a connect with him in the high school. It didn't work out. I don't know what happened. I don't know, but I did make the connection. He hit me up. I still want to give the money. You tell me the kids who I'm going to give it to.
Right.
And so when I had an event over at Trenton Thunder Stadium, he presented 2 of my former students. One graduated this past June.
I just saw that.
One graduated in 2020. He presented both of them $5,000 each.
Make some
I
noise.
just saw that. Hey, yo, I just seen that.
Let me
The
tell
reason
you.
I was able to see that, hold on. The reason I was able to see that is all because of Peterson breaking news. Peterson was out there recording and capturing the whole thing, and it came across my timeline. I want to tell y'all something. That was beautiful. And I want to see more of that in my city. That's why November 8th, I'm going to be out there and I'm selecting number 8.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? Let me tell you what really touched me about him. What touched me about him was, at one time, he was looking to run at large too. He had decided, I'm going to get petitions signed and run at large.
For sure.
He had petitions on him when he had come to my event and everything. And he sat there and he was like, you know what? I ain't doing that here. Because that ain't what this is. It's for them kids. And that made me look at him even more in a different light to see who he was in his heart. A lot of times people come up and want to take advantage of situations and photo ops and things like that. Some people try to talk smack about me. Oh, she runs around and she takes selfies. If you've been following me since the beginning of time on Facebook, That's my thing.
Yeah.
I've been doing that
Same
because
as no.
guess what? I want to be able to memorialize what I've done. So when you sit there with nothing, because you've done nothing, and you look at me, who has touched many, don't get mad.
Guess
Get
what?
busy. Number 8, Trenton City Council at large. We're in there to do this.
November 8th.
When them grandbabies come, right?
Mhm.
You gonna have a legacy to sit them down and tell them about them. Listen, trust me, make some noise, y'all. Make some noise, y'all. Crystal Cristiano, Thomas from Peterson'S breaking news. When it's all said and done, World Takes episode 86. Everybody up here gonna have legacies to share with their grands.
For
You
sure.
heard?
This is legendary.
This is big stuff we doing
Let's
here.
get the Peterson breaking news. Like a lot of people interested in that. Like a lot of people don't know who you are, where you're from, where you come from. You just hit the scene with content, heavy content, the content we like. Listen, I know we're not on here. We got Miss Crystal Feliciano.
Yeah, but he is. So let's be clear. He is Thomas Peterson. That's his platform.
Okay.
I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah, so
Thomas was Thomas before Crystal even came on the scene. Let's be clear.
Right here. We
Let's
got
be clear.
And I'm using the language. Yeah, Emmy Award winning shit we got going on. Listen,
I don't
a
even
lot
really
of
use the Facebook no more, but I gotta tune in to see what's going on in the town every night, at least once a night. Was it a shooting? Was it an accident? Is it a fire?
let's
And
not
talk-
without
and
disgracing the
talk-
dead, without disgracing the unfortunate, without
Yeah.
disgracing our families and stuff like that, because we do have other news outlets that can be real disrespectful.
Grimy.
Just like, who are these people writing this stuff about, like, people of our
Our-
community?
Our community.
And
Like,
yeah, and I say that things like the Trentonian newspaper, like it can
we been
get
solid.
nasty, and it's just like, who are these people who are writing these things? When you bring the content, you let the people talk however they want to say, but you come and you just bring them a neutral
Just
point
the
of view.
facts.
This is what's going on, and I
Right, yeah, I
appreciate
do.
you for that. I don't know how you able to be unbiased as you're doing this, because I'm sure after a while, doing 10 years of it, you'll start seeing ugly in your head. Like, man, I'm tired of this shit. But you somehow present it unbiasedly. Like, how are you able to do that?
So how I'm able to do that is just my former friend. She was a reporter in Princeton. So
Okay.
I will say when I graduated high school, I moved to Georgia, and then I moved back here because Georgia wasn't where I was supposed to be. Trenton was where I was supposed to be.
Right.
That's where my news page was, and that's where I'm supposed to be at. So she gave me a lot of tips on how to keep neutral and just how to do that. And I just wrote it how it was supposed to be for
Okay.
like I'm not gonna put that someone got like their head cavitated off. I'm just gonna say they just they got shot or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just tell it how it is.
It's a
Okay.
skill that
It is. And I don't have to go to school for that. People ask me all the time, "Oh, did you go to school for journalism?" I'm like, "No, I did not go to school for journalism. I just read a lot about journalism,
Yeah.
and that's how I mastered that skill."
A lot of the kids at home, right?
Yeah.
There are some of them that they want to be journalists, but they may not know the steps to take to get there. They may not have the finances to go to a big college and study broadcasting and all that. So you said you just did a lot of research on your own.
I did.
Maybe what can you suggest? Like, where can they start? Should they YouTube? What is it?
YouTube helps also, because when I graduated high school, I was like, oh, I looked in college for journalism.
Mm-hmm.
You can easily just do it online, really.
Just teach yourself.
Yeah, you can teach yourself online. Like a lot of people now, they just start recording.
Right.
I'm supposed to say with technology.
Yes, it's so
Just
advanced.
just go for it.
We all got the power right in our
Right,
hand.
just
Set
go
up
for it.
live. You just do it. I'm glad you found your voice and your talent. Let me ask you, where do you see Peterson'S breaking news going from here? Do you think Where do you see it going? Do you plan on expanding? Do you plan on getting in? I know you one of the biggest in the town right now. You know, I'm the biggest, but you the biggest too. Make some noise. Make some noise, bro. We got two of the biggest in here. Where do you see Peterson's going? Do you want to even get bigger? Do you plan on expanding at all, or is it just always going to be a city thing? Like, could we see affiliates in different cities?
I do plan to expand eventually. Hopefully to like a station, actually.
Okay.
City-based station first, and then we'll see about everywhere else.
I see that. I can see that.
I
can see that.
Yeah, Trent is the main priority, and then kind of like a WZBN TV News, if you're familiar with that TV station that used to be in Trent.
That was 25. Was that channel 25?
That was 25.
Remember channel 8, y'all? Y'all remember that? Down there, NJN on channel 8. That was an 8 or 9. That was when we was kids. Channel 8.
Come on here with the 8s. Come on here with the 8s.
Great. November 8th. Vote for candidate 8. The 8 is great. Make some noise, y'all.
Yes.
When people got questions for you, how can they reach out to you, like, and get to know you?
What's your socials? Give them your socials. You have social media?
Yes.
Tell them where they can find you at.
He was saying social. I was like, you ain't giving up
Not
my
just-
social security number.
He thought he got me.
I only give you a social. Listen here. What? I'm like, I just told the students that's your unique identifying number. You got to watch your parents with your social. They have cable and everything in your name, and you 2 years old. So, you can find me on Facebook at Crystal for Trenton. You can also have a website, www.crystalfortrenton.com. CrystalForTrenton.
Okay. CrystalForTrenton.com. Y'all tap in. Breaking news on Facebook. Y'all tap in.
Yes, tap
Can
in.
they find you anywhere else?
In the streets.
Hey.
On TikTok.
The streets want to know when you transferring over to Instagram and stuff like that.
He's on TikTok
They
too.
find me in the
Oh, you on
streets.
TikTok?
We went viral on there. Yeah.
Yeah, what?
We went viral on
We gotta
TikTok.
start
Yeah.
Tap in with my people, y'all. TikTok.
Thomas Peterson,
Facebook.
130.
Do you got a hotline though?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Peterson, do you got like a hotline? Like if somebody sees something like and they can reach out to you, you have one?
Yeah, 609-631-5911.
That's important, y'all. Like there's a lot of things they share on social media. Share it with Peterson.
Tap in, y'all.
We're gonna
Especially
make sure it get to everybody.
Especially if y'all one of the ones like where you see something you don't necessarily want to contact the police. Please contact Peterson Breaking News. Tap into the hotline.
Yeah.
Peterson to handle everything else after that. You don't got to worry about it.
Yeah.
You don't got to be worried about being labeled a snitch or a rat. Tap in with
Everything
Peterson.
is confidential.
Everything is confidential. We don't give any information in. Tap in with Peterson. We get the information to the appropriate people. Hit the hotline, y'all.
I mean, I know with both of you guys, I know it could be like it's time consuming, it's money invested. You know, do you guys have any type of links where people can donate or help support y'all?
Yeah, donate to the campaign. Donate to Peterson's Breaking News. We got cash apps.
Yes, my cash app is.
Check it out. Check it out. Get it right, because we don't want to send it to the
Yeah,
wrong place.
right.
10 years strong, 10 years strong. Come on, man. Like y'all,
Yeah,
help my boy out. Help my boy out. He keep
You
that
know your
content
Cash App?
coming.
Where are you taking your campaign donations? People
So
wanna
I'm
support
on Act Blue.
Act Blue.
Act Blue, the website Act Blue. Under Crystal, you can, when it says search for candidate, Crystal Feliciano. You can also contribute via Zelle. The phone number for that is 609-960-5489. That goes straight to the campaign account. Yeah, and you can look on the website as well, the www.crystalfortrenton.com, and it'll have a option to donate there as well. Let me tell you what I do also need too. We beating the streets up. When I leave here, we have to go and meet with a team because we about to, we knocking doors and all that stuff. We need volunteers to come out. Y'all want to come come and be a part of the process, get with us online and come on and be a volunteer with us. If you want yard signs, my lawn signs will be here in like the next 6 days. Hit us up. Let's rep the set all through the city and let us know that it's time. Number 8 is great. It's time for a change in the city of Trenton. We want to envision a better Trenton together, and that's the only way that we're going to be able to do that. You have your cash app?
Yes, my cash app is Tommy132.
Tommy132. Hey, y'all, if y'all want to be
T-O-M-M-Y or T-O-M-M-I?
Tommy.
Tommy
132.
132. That's the cash app.
Dollar
Blue.
$TOMMY
Act Blue.
132.
Act Blue. Act Blue. That's where we donating to the campaign. Listen, y'all, we need volunteers for the street team.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Like, network is so important in this world we live in. And
I'm gonna tell y'all why.
And I don't forget. Here's the thing. I don't forget.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'm gonna tell y'all why I'm throwing my support behind Crystal and Thomas. Crystal and Thomas, they may not know this, but I've been following Peterson for years now. I've been in this city since I was born. I've been outside for years now. So when I'm out in the community, I actively see these two. I can't speak for all candidates. I'm outside all the time, y'all. I'm not seeing these other candidates outside. I'm not seeing them trying to make a difference in the community. But when it comes to these two, and I'm not telling y'all who to vote for, I'm not telling y'all what to do, but I had to have them up here with me on World Takes 86 because I see them in the community. I see them trying to affect change in my community where my 2 kids is growing up and I gotta worry where my 2 kids is outside. So it's people like this that I want to throw my support behind. You feel me? And if you feel like Big Moo, you'll throw your support too. Straight like that.
We want it. Come on here.
Straight like
And
that.
on October 8th, they're going to 8s again. That is Trenton High's homecoming. We're marching in the parade as Peterson's breaking news of Trenton. So we're gonna be just cutting up a little bit, having a good time. The parade starts at, I want to say 11:30 if I'm not mistaken. It's in the morning.
At the high school?
At the high school, yeah.
Make sure y'all come out, man. Our kids, homecoming, Trenton High, October 8th. The parade starts at 11:30. Make sure y'all come out and support these kids, man. These kids is our everything. They are our future. And I hope I didn't throw anybody off with my comments about the kids earlier. I was just genuinely asking. I see the community getting progressively worse, so I'm wondering if it's like that in the schools. That's not to turn you kids off. I know y'all great kids. I know y'all just being kids. Keep doing y'all thing. Make sure when y'all tap into that high school, make sure when y'all in finance class, y'all listen to Miss Crystal. If Miss Crystal tell me y'all not listening, I might have to come check up on you. Make sure everything is all right. You already know it's your boy Big Moo. It's the biggest. You got anything else before we get out of here?
I just wanted, speaking of the kids, you know, you're a teacher. I feel like you guys are underpaid, underappreciated. I also feel like you guys are sometimes underheard. You guys, you say you're a sponge, but sometimes you guys can be a sponge, really. Like, you just absorb things. And, you know, just me analyzing things. So I'm a young parent. I got a young child. And as a parent, what can I do as a parent to, like, because a lot of times I send my child to school and I just expect him to come back, like, better. You know what I'm saying?
Right, okay, I'm like, what you mean? You better
That's
come
real,
back.
though.
And then when I see it highlighted in the sense where some parents even want more and they want the teachers to deal with so much, you know what I mean, the child's trauma and stuff like that, where...
So are you giving better at home?
That's why I'm here to ask you, like, as a new parent, and even for some of the parents who...
How old is your baby?
He's 3.
Okay.
So, you know, I want to be better prepared as he gets older. You know, I'm an older parent. I'm 37 right now, so I got a 3-year-old. So I didn't have any children early. So I've seen a lot of things. So I'm saying for parents, like, nobody hears what teachers got to say. What people always hear what parents feel like teachers should have done. You know what I mean? What can us as parents do to prepare our children better for school? Like when they come in your class and they can be a little bit more prepared, or what can they do at home outside of the school that can just be better prepared? Because it's important that, you know, the time is not wasted and the children become, let's say, degenerates, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean?
So do you read to your child?
Read into my child is something you suggest, like for a
Yes.
3-year-old?
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
key.
Yes.
Okay.
I would,
and now
I
do
would
you
piggyback off of that. That's key.
Yeah, and then you read throughout the
You instill the love of reading in the child.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, there are a lot of kids of high school age that still cannot read. There's a lot of adults out here that cannot read, right? And so what you'll do is you'll start putting sight words around the house, the little sticky notes and stuff, at, cat, that, sat. You start putting the words around, and you have your child as they're moving around, reading the words as they're going to familiarize them with vocabulary and stuff. So he's not afraid to speak. Is it a son or a daughter?
It's a son.
Thank you. And so that he's not afraid to speak, and he's finding his little voice. And then you start reading to him. And then eventually you have him start reading to you. You be an active parent, an active father with your child, exemplifying excellence for him, and he'll follow you. Don't just send him to school expecting him to come back better. Go to the school and meet the teachers. Right. The one thing that I could say is they do not come to parent-teacher conference. They do not come to back to school night. I went to everything that my daughter had. They knew my name. Sometimes they smiled when they saw me. Sometimes they faked a smile when they saw me. But it didn't matter because they saw me.
Yeah. Right.
You have to be active and present. I understand that there's a lot of young parents out there. I understand that, but that's the charge you took. Yeah. And so now it's the job you must fulfill. And so the only way our children become better in the classroom is when they're better at home. You got to raise your own kid. Yeah. Raise your own kid and then send them to me. You see what I'm saying?
Can I give a little highlight? Yeah. Last year for Christmas, my daughter, she's 10 now. My daughter was 9 last Christmas. Guess what she had on her Christmas list? What? Books for reading.
That's what I'm talking about.
That almost brought me to tears. Listen, I got a 14-year-old boy, so I got 2 kids. I got a 10-year-old daughter. I got a 14-year-old boy. The book thing, the reading thing, I probably didn't hit it out the park with my son how I should have. You feel me?
It's never too late, though.
It's never too late, but it is to a point where he's 14 now, and it's like, whoa, books.
You have to catch them early because it is people. Listen to me. They study our children. They study our children from the time they're 3 and up to determine who's going to end up in a jail cell. They study to know who's going to cut up. They want little Tay-Tay and them to act up because when they're incarcerated, somebody else is getting paid off of them sitting in a cell. Right. I don't want our children to be the statistics. I want them to be the success. It starts with all of us working collaboratively together. Raise your kids, and if you need help, there should be resources that are available. But here's the thing. There are resources, but the people don't want to get out and take advantage of the resources. So it's all about the mindset. You start where you are. You love on your son. You speak life into him. You present life for him and to him. So into him. A lot of our young men don't have the fathers or the father figures around, unfortunately, due to whatever reason. But your son has you. And he'll have what you put into him to help him to be great. And so that's the charge I give to you. You do your part. The educators will do their part. And if the educators don't do their part, you be present so that you can hold them accountable to make them do their part.
Every step of the way.
Okay, that's one.
I like that.
That's one. Let's go. Give us some more. Give us one more.
Listen, I got to hit these streets.
All right, listen.
But I told you, the sight word thing, be present at the parent-teacher conference. You know, hold your children accountable and set standards. Don't have your kids running in and out the house. Oh, I'll be back. What you mean you'll be back? Well, where are you going? I don't know. You out there letting the kids run buckshot, don't even care. Don't nobody want to hear that. And then you sad when things happen. No. Make your kids be responsible, but be responsible for your children as well. The streets ain't going to love them like you supposed to love them. They going to take them.
I want to wrap this up, y'all. B, do you have any final thoughts
First of all, I appreciate you taking your time out to be a part of our show,
Both of
episode
you.
Thank you.
86. I also want to tell the people, make sure y'all go out and vote November 8th for number 8. If you don't think you leave everything else blank, vote for number 8, yo.
Come on
If
here.
they
Number
not
8 is
registered-
great.
Let me ask you, if they not registered, is it too late?
No, they still have
When
time
they go
until
register?
they can register at vote.gov, I want to say.
Vote.gov, y'all tap in. If you're not registered, go ahead, get yourself
Yeah.
registered tonight. This is one of the most crucial.
Yeah, vote.gov. You
Yeah.
need to get on and get it done. We need you in there. We need you in there.
Take it from your boy Big Move. This is one of the most crucial elections of our lifetime.
Yes.
We see where everything turning upside down on our heads, the market going high, everything is changing, and
Gas is
you
out
guys
the
want to
wazoo.
know the people that you guys are voting for. So
Rent is out the wazoo.
mhm.
All these abandoned buildings. Me and you talk about that every fucking. It's crazy you mentioned that. Because when I'm riding down the boulevard and I just look at the destruction. that's
And guess what
going
happens
on,
in them abandoned buildings? Drug
Drugs.
abuse, right? Prostitution,
Fire.
their fire,
Murder.
everything. So
anything.
we don't need these eyesores around.
Come on.
We need them taken down. And guess what? If it's a city-owned property, the council has to approve the demolition.
I wanna
Come
tell
on
you
here.
about
At one time they was
Come on
demolishing everything, and it's still waiting to be demolished.
I want to tell you all about that boulevard. When I was 5 years old, my aunt Juanita lived right on that boulevard across from Tyrone's store, Fountain Avenue, across from Fountain Avenue. Every house on that boulevard had a family in it. Had some type of tradition, some type of custom. It was kids that would come out that I could play with in the neighborhood. It was community. If I'm down that end and I do something wrong, somebody from down that end will walk me back to my Uncle Griffin. They might whoop my ass. My Uncle Griffin might whoop my ass. Everybody might whoop my ass. And we a long way away from that, y'all.
But that's when community could be community and people respect it. Now we had it where some people were shooting in the church. They ain't even got no, come on here. They
Yeah.
cussing out older folks. Let us even think. Let me think about parting my lips to say something slick to somebody older than me.
I kind of want
That's
to
it.
ask that
Ain't no
too,
conversation.
but I didn't want to stretch it out. When I asked you what can parents do, I want to go kind of stretch it to what can the community do also. But I know we time restricted.
Be active and volunteer in the programs and things that are out there. We have the Trenton Street team that's out there, newly formed. They've been out there, out in front of the high school every day. They're out there in the mornings,
I see
ushering
them.
the kids in.
I want to shout
They're
them out.
there, yes.
Make some noise for them. What are you talking about? The fathers to be crossing them?
I'm talking
Across the
about
street?
the men and women, the Trenton Street team.
Oh, it's
that's
women out
there.
there too?
Yes.
It's both.
Yes,
Okay, the
they're
men
out
and
there
women
at the beginning
is
of
out
the
there
day,
making
at
sure
the
the
end
kids
of the
safe.
day.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, but they're doing more than just playing crossing guard. They're out there engaging and talking to the
Oh,
kids.
no.
They're
I
out
see
there
it.
talking about other alternatives. Oh, you like to shoot ball? Oh, you like this and that? Giving them that interaction because we know that once you build trust,
Yes.
and trust is built through consistency.
Yes.
Be consistent. Don't start doing stuff with your son and then drop off and say, I ain't got time.
Yeah.
What you start, you must be able to finish.
Mhm.
What you start. And never make him a promise that you can't keep. Your word should always be bond to him. I'm sorry. So the thing is, they're out there doing the work. I commend them for that. I'm happy to see that. We need more people out there willing to pitch in and volunteer. This is
How
our
do they
city.
sign up for that? Like if somebody
So
wants to
contact Keon Jones online, Keion Jones. You can hit him up in the inbox. Contact Tracy Syfax in the
Big dog.
inbox. Contact Antonio Bellamy, the Revy Rev. Hit him up.
Yeah.
They out there. Hit any of them up and
Yeah.
get on.
Shout out to Tracy Side
Perry Shaw. Hit up
North
Perry
Trenton
Shaw.
legend, man. I know we was on our West Trenton shit earlier in the show. Shout out to the North Trenton guys, man. Big Tracy Side Facts, man, making a difference in the community.
From the block to the boardroom.
That's what, listen, them the people I'm going to always uplift. The ones I really see out in the community, like y'all two, like Tracy. I don't see these other guys. And I just want to make that a point to my viewers at home. If you don't see them out in the community, but you hear them online, something may not be right.
Yeah.
Now, when you see him out in the community and you heard him
Without the cameras too,
Come
because
on,
we
come
see
on,
people
yeah. Talk to me
taking
nice.
pictures and shaking, kissing babies.
Talk
Well,
to me
here's
nice.
the thing. When you see them out there and it's not election season.
It's
How
not.
about
It's
that?
not
Now,
election
it's not
time.
the pop-up. We want to
Ain't
see
no
them
vote
all the
pop-up.
time. We want to see them all the time. Not when it's convenient for them, because the city needs representation 365 days out of the year, and they need people in position that's going to give it to them.
One
Vote
thing-
number 8 on November 8th.
One thing I'm
Please
gonna
share
tell
it at
y'all
large.
before we get out of here is Thomas and Crystal is out here in the trenches.
Mm-hmm.
Some nights it's 11 p.m.
Yes,
It's
sir.
1 a.m.
Yes, Lord. Go ahead, Thomas. Amen.
All night long.
No, Crystal, you out here too. I don't want you being this not the humble podcast. This not where you gotta be humble at, and where you gotta be
But
modest
I
at.
be
It's
out
the
during
biggest.
the day, though.
You be out.
I be out during the day,
In
though.
the
He be out
community.
during the nighttime.
Y'all gonna see Crystal
Listen,
out there.
I did one nighttime standoff with him. That was enough for the flea. I was done. Yup, cat. I was out. So, so I just want to say before we go, it has been a wonderful ride with you.
Oh my God.
Thomas is a phenomenal young man. We met at a journalism boot camp, and neither one of us was journalists. He used to ride his bike when he was 15 to capture the stories. His heart is in it and has been in it for the people for a long time. You asked him what you wanted, what his vision was for Peterson's. I want you to excel to higher heights. For as long as I got breath in my body, to help you get it. Anything I can do, you know this. Anything I can do, I always got you. I always got you. You my family. You my little brother forever and ever, no matter what, no matter where. I would love to see him in print. I would love to see us in the studio.
Yeah.
I want all of that. I want sponsors to come, and God is in that. Sponsors that's going to come and sew in, so that Peterson Breaking News of Trenton has domination over Trenton when it comes to media. Gotta make it so. So I'm just saying, we in it to win it. We not playing no games with it. Peterson Breaking News of Trenton. He's the man with the plan that makes the platform happen. Shout out to Thomas Peterson.
All that's coming, y'all. All that's coming. Stay tuned. Stay tapped in. More importantly, make sure y'all come out and vote on November 8th. It's your boy, Big Move.
This be Baby 1-2 of the World Takes Pot.
We want to thank y'all for coming out tonight, Crystal, Thomas. It was a pleasure having y'all.
Thank you.
After we win this election,
Come on.
after we cancel at large,
Hello.
we coming back. We doing it big.
Oh my God.
You already
We're
know.
going to I ain't going to drink it, but I'm going to be here with you. I'm going to pay for it. I'll pay for it.
Listen, y'all stay tuned. Make sure y'all educate yourself. Make sure y'all go follow Peterson on Facebook.
Follow us.
Peterson Breaking News. Crystal Feliciano. Tap in.
Tap in.
November 8th. 8 is great.
8 is great.
Candidate number 8.
Yeah.
I'm going to make it real easy for you. On November 8th, you go out, you do all 8s. You do all 8s, man. It's your boy, Big Move. We out of here. Episode 86. Holla back.
Thank you.
Thank you all. That was fire.
Thank y'all so much.